The skies were blue and hazy, rarely a storm, barely a chill, la, 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 la. The afternoons were lazy, everyone warm, everyone still, la, 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 la. And there was distant music, simple and somehow sublime, giving the nation a new syncopation. The people called it ragtime. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith. And guess what? You've probably guessed. Today I'm reviewing Ragtime, the new revival production of the hit Broadway show. And of course, it's on Broadway, too, at the Lincoln Center Theater at the Vivian Beaumont in beautiful New York, New York. So I was recently in New York with my friend Abigail, and we went to see a bunch of shows as we prepare for the Tony Awards season. It was very exciting. It was a whirlwind trip. I mostly just saw shows. I saw 11. But today we're going to, well, really 10. I saw one of them twice. But today we're going to talk about the first one that I saw, and that is Ragtime. Now, Ragtime is based on the novel by E.L. Doctorow, and it has a book by Terence McNally, and a score, music by Stephen Flaherty, and lyrics by Lynn Ahrens. And you know, Ahrens and Flaherty, or Flaherty and Ahrens, however you like to say it, are one of my favorite composing teams ever. I just love them so much. Once on This Island, Rocky the musical, so many things. But Ragtime has to be one of their greatest achievements. And, you know, I saw Ragtime before it went to Broadway. It stopped in L.A. It had the production in Toronto, and there was a production at the Schubert Theater, which no longer exists, in Los Angeles. And it had Brian Stokes Mitchell. It had LaChanze in it. Not everybody from that were going to Broadway were in it, but it was Brian Stokes Mitchell as Coalhouse Walker, and LaChanze as Sarah Brown Eyes. And of course I had a LaChanze curse, because every time I would go to see LaChanze in something, the little white slip paper would fall out and say that LaChanze was not there, and it was the understudy, who was very good, but I wanted to see LaChanze. Anyway, it went on to Broadway, and of course Audra McDonald was in it as Sarah, and Brian Stokes Mitchell. And you know, I used to know, well, I'm sure I still know him, but I knew Brian Stokes Mitchell's brother, George Mitchell, who worked at CBS many, many years ago when I worked at CBS Television City. So anyway, Ragtime. Oh my goodness. Now, if I had had a poster that was not, my Ragtime poster was horizontal, not vertical. So if I'd had a vertical Ragtime poster, I would have put it up here on this wall with my top 15. And now that I'm getting the Ragtime poster, like, you know, with that design, I'm going to redo my top 15, and you'd better believe Ragtime will be in it. Because I always liked Ragtime, but this production of Ragtime, mwah, it's nominated for, how many? Was it 11? 11 Tony nominations, I believe. Yeah, Ragtime got 11 Tony nominations at this year's Tony nominations. So many well-deserving people got nominations. But here, of course, is the playbill. I always love to show you the inside of the playbill, and what's wonderful is you can always look online and see all of it. here it is. Now, this production is directed by Lear de Bossenet. Lear de Bossenet. Choreography is by, good Lord, this writing is so small, Eleanor Scott, and music direction by James Moore. And like I said, it's based on the novel by E.L. Doctorow, which I never saw. And I never saw the 1981 movie that they made of the novel, and I would love to see it. Is it a perfect show? No, most shows aren't perfect. But, like, I don't know why some of the characters don't have real names. I don't know. Mother, father, mother's younger brother. But Sarah and Colehouse have names, and then Sarah's friend is listed as Sarah's friend. Now, come on, y'all. I need some names. Here is the main cast. And I was thrilled that everybody I wanted to see was in it. Okay, so Joshua Henry as Colehouse Walker, oh my Lord in heaven, blew the roof off of that theater. There were several, I think there were at least 3 standing ovations during the show. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Casey Levy as Mother was amazing. Brandon Uranowitz, who I've always loved, who was in falsettos and so many things, he played Tatya. Colin Donnell, who you all know from Chicago Med, was it Chicago? Yeah, Chicago Med, and so many things. Theater. He was Father. Nichelle Lewis played Sarah, and Ben Levi Ross, who is on Elsbeth as Elsbeth's son, he played Mother's younger brother. And I should mention that Shayna Taub, who was in Suffs and wrote the music and the book for Suffs, she was Emma Goldman. So, what is Ragtime? For those of you who don't know, it's a musical it's like an epic. It's set in the turn of the century, like around 1906, something like that. Yeah. And it's about a wealthy white family. Then there's a group of African American people, including Sarah, who has a baby and then leaves it in the garden. The baby's sort of buried in Mother's garden. I don't know how deep. It couldn't have been too deep. And I didn't get the details. But the baby was still alive, and Mother takes in the baby. And, of course, Sarah is nearby, and they're going to throw her in jail. And Mother says, "No, I'll take the baby and Sarah." And then when Father gets home, and they're very wealthy and very snooty, but Mother's very nice. And when Father gets home, he's like, "What?" But anyway, and then there is the immigrant characters. Emma Goldman is fighting for the rights of the immigrants and the downtrodden. And there's a father named Tatya and his little girl, no name. Does she have a name? In one of the songs, he tells her to tell everybody that she doesn't have a name. Leah Michelle played her in the original production. But the little boy, the little girl, maybe she doesn't have a name. See, no names for people. Let me show you some more of the cast. This is a giant cast. I counted. There were, I looked online actually. They counted for me, and there are 44 people in this cast. Now, I don't know if they're all represented at once or if some of the standbys and understudies are hiding backstage. And at this performance, it says, "Welcome to the company. The role of Colehouse Walker III will be played by Caleb Stallings." Can you imagine to be a little child and be in a Broadway show? What your life is completely changed because you probably have the theater bug from a small age, and then you're just set. You know, Brandon Uranowitz, who plays Tatya, apparently was the little boy, mother's little boy, in the Toronto company. I guess he's just listed as the little boy too. And then when they went to Broadway, they took, he was the only one that didn't go with the company to New York, and he was like 11, and he was devastated and had a lot of shame throughout his life. But now he's playing Tatya, and he has a Tony nomination. Now, I told you they have 11 Tony nominations. Joshua Henry has one for outstanding for lead actor in a musical. Casey Levy has one for lead actress in a musical. Brandon Uranowitz has one for a lead actor in a musical. So he and Joshua Henry are going up against each other. I think Joshua Henry will win just because this role was made for him to play, really. And who else? Ben Levi Ross, as Mother's younger brother, has a nomination for featured actor. Wouldn't it be wonderful if these were right in front of me? Oh, and Nichelle Lewis. Don't forget Nichelle Lewis as Sarah. My Lord. Such a find. I had never seen her before. An amazing voice. Such presence. Such star quality. So she has one for featured actress in a musical. So, of these 6 lead characters here, 5 of them have nominations. Sorry for Colin Donnell, but the role of father really doesn't have as much meat to it as some of the other roles because father goes off on expeditions a lot. So basically, that's what it's about. It's about the white people, the African American people, the immigrants, and the times are changing. There's a murder trial that involves this girl named Evelyn Nesbit, who's sort of like a vaudeville star, and Mother's younger brother becomes obsessed with her, and Houdini is a character, and the little boy has sort of psychic abilities, which they never really go into that. But like he'll see people and be like, "We know those people," and the mother's like, "Don't be silly. Those are just poor immigrants." And he's like, "Well, we will know them," and of course they do come into their lives. What are some of the other nominations that they have? I mean, they have costume, I believe, right? Yeah, best costume design. They have, look at me, I should have had it all written out. I'm terrible. Where is my producer? They have lighting design. They have sound design. They have best direction for Lear de Bessonnet. Choreography for Eleanor Scott. And I must say, some of the choreography was amazing. Well, all of it. But there's this thing at the beginning where the 3 groups are all sort of circling each other on the stage. Oh, and can we talk about this opening? If you can find clips online, the cast, this huge cast, there's the 2 little boys on the stage, mother and father's little boy, and then Colehouse Walker Jr. the third. And then the cast starts singing and they rise up out of the floor on a hydraulic lift. And it is crazy. I started crying immediately. And they're marching and they're singing and they're marching in place until the hydraulic lift is even with the stage. And then they all come forward and crying. I cried throughout this show. Now that I'm getting older and probably have sleep apnea, well, I know I have sleep apnea, I get so sleepy sometimes during these shows. Now, I didn't fall asleep during Ragtime, but during the first act, I was so comfortable and it was so dark and that music was washing over me. One of the most beautiful scores you'll ever hear. And I started getting so sleepy and my eyes were like, oh. And I'm like, no, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. So it was a struggle, not because of Ragtime, but because of me. So anyway, anything that I'm leaving out, my apologies. Best revival of a musical, I told you it got nominated for, but it has 11 nominations, and I'm very excited about the Tonys this year. And and here's a thrilling thing. After the show, they had a talk back, and this was in the program too. It was a talk back on the stage immediately following tonight's performance. A special panel on the Black experience in Ragtime. And look who they had. Audra McDonald, who I saw last year in Gypsy, and whose poster is right there on the wall. Brian Stokes Mitchell. Thrilling to see both of them there. And then they had Joshua Henry and Nichelle Lewis. They had John Clay III, who plays Booker T. Washington. Oh, Booker T. Washington is a character. Henry Ford is a character. Emma Goldman. So there are real people mixed in with the fictional people. Allison Blackwell was at the talk back, and she plays Sarah's friend, No Name. And it was hosted or moderated by Lamar Richardson. And this was fascinating, I thought. I love a good talkback. The only thing I don't like about talkbacks is when somebody says something and everybody has to applaud after they say. I mean, everyone is saying very eloquent things and just, very, very smart. Much smarter than I could ever say if I did a talkback. I'd be like, poopy, farty, buddy, cruddy, juddy. Or I like blue. But yes, here's the back of this thing. And this is the front. And it's on nice cardstock, which is amazing for something that's that night, one night only, a talkback. And they can afford to do cardstock like this. Somebody's got some money up at the Lincoln Center. Okay, this show is running only until August 2nd, 2026. So get thee to New York and get thee to the Vivian Beaumont at Lincoln Center Theater. It was originally just going to be a 14-week engagement, and then it's been extended twice. And I'm just thrilled that it was playing for me when I went. Oh, but a national tour has been announced. It's going to begin in late 2027, and it's going to start in Buffalo, New York. So that's very hopeful that there will be a 2027. And they won't be able to have that hydraulic lift at the beginning, which I think is as thrilling as a helicopter in Miss Saigon or a chandelier in Phantom of the Opera. That hydraulic lift with that cast all squished together and marching and singing in unison is one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in my life in the theater. And I see a lot of theater. So on Tony night, I'm going to be watching. I was going to sing a medley of songs, but we don't need that. But because I already sang at the beginning, but I wanted to sing. He wanted to say, I am here because I have to be. He wanted to say, I am here for what is right. Every day I wake up knowing what you've lost and what is owing. I would shed this skin if I could to stand with you and fight. Dun, diddle, dun. Such big sweeping songs in this, and such beautiful ballads, and the music. Mwah! Ragtime. So, now the poster hasn't arrived yet because I haven't ordered it. I bought a magnet when I was there, and look how it has scratches on it. Both Abigail and I were like, oh no, our magnets are all scratched up. But then I realized that is part of the design, sort of the old look. I don't know if you can see it on here, but there's little scratches. So I was like, okay, I feel better now that my Ragtime magnet is scratched up. And then I bought this other one with the same design. I love magnets like this, and you know I love a refrigerator magnet. But I love how thick they are, and they're just so... These are more sturdy than some of the flatter ones that eventually start wearing out and the magnet comes off the back of them and you're like, ah. I have some that are going to have to stay on my refrigerator forever until they just fall apart. But so that's all that I bought at Ragtime, but I will be getting that poster soon. So, if you get a chance, go see it on Broadway, and if you don't, catch it on the national tour, which starts in 2027. Okay, this is my beginning of my march toward the Tonys, and we'll have more reviews of what I saw in New York, so keep watching. And subscribe, as the kids say, subscribe to my channel, and like and share. Okay, we'll see you the next time that it's Christmas time.